What's up, guys? Welcome to the Movie Schmovie podcast.
What's going on?
You are here listening to episode 005.
Unison.
Lucky number 5. Did we just harmonize?
We did.
I think it's just happening, man. We're just in such unison. It's automatic. We don't even have to really try anymore. We are going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. We want to throw out some stuff real quick, though, before we get down to business, and that's just basically talking about how you can reach out to us, as always. We have the movieschmovie.net website now that links right to our Tumblr account. So if you want to hit us up there, we're posting news on the site. The actual podcast itself goes up there. Or you can subscribe to it in iTunes so that you are aware when they post, even if you don't check back very often. If you subscribe through iTunes, it will let you know when we post a new episode.
Yep. So also the Twitter at Movie Schmovie. So Tumblr, Twitter. Twitter.com/movieschmovie, and you can reach us there. Movieschmovie@gmail.com. So
Facebook too.
Facebook as well. So you can look us up through there. Just type it in the search bar and we'll come up. So with that said, let's get to one of the coolest parts of our podcast, the Mighty Minute Review. And the Mighty Minute Review that we have chosen to do is Bad Teacher.
Bad Teacher.
Bad Teacher.
A little bit more emphasis on the bad than teacher.
Bad Teacher, starring Cameron Diaz and Justin Timberlake.
And Jason Segel.
And Jason Segel. And awful humor.
So this was submitted from a lovely lady named Erin. So we want to thank Erin for throwing this film out there. We actually saw it a couple weeks ago, just before it came out, and we'd actually considered doing it for one of our podcasts.
Yeah.
But I feel like we overall had so much dislike for it. It almost didn't even entice us to go forward with a podcast on it. So what did you think of it, man?
I think the polar opposite of cinematic gold is a cinematic turd, and this is something that happened to have been. It was hard to watch. The humor was really crude, but not funny, so it didn't have any redeeming sort of quality to it. So it was just bad like that all through the movie. So like Cameron Diaz saying things like she wanted to sit on Justin Timberlake's face, so she was going to suck somebody's dick. It just wasn't funny at all. Yeah,
it just missed on a lot of levels, and I didn't buy Cameron Diaz in the role at all. Justin Timberlake, who I normally think is pretty humorous and pretty entertaining all around, like from his stuff on SNL to some of the movies he has even been in, completely just a non-factor in the film, almost laughable. Horrific. The only really silver lining of the movie, and it was very, very minimal, was Jason Segel.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
He did have some really good one-liners, and he kind of had a similar character that you kind of related to him in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
He definitely reminded me of the same kind of guy, and I think that's just him as a person.
Definitely.
But overall, just not a good movie. Save your money. Hopefully some of the other comedies coming out this summer will be better worth it, like Horrible Boss is coming up, and maybe The Change Up. Later this year, or this summer also. But yeah, Bad Teacher, Bad News Bears, stay away.
Bad News
If you're going to give money away, you can just mail it to us, but don't spend it on that movie.
Yeah.
Better things to do with your time.
Definitely.
But thanks again for sending that in, Aaron. If you want to submit your Mighty Minute Review suggestion, you can do so through our Gmail account, the Tumblr account, Facebook, Twitter, however you can possibly reach out to us. Like I said before, carrier pigeons are also very effective.
Smoke signals.
Smoke signals. If you own an owl, if you happen to be a Harry Potter fan, you can send your owl my way.
Yeah.
That's fine too. So that is our Mighty Minute Review for today. Again, Bad Teacher, stay away.
Stay away. Also, really quickly before we start, Cinemint.com, CIME.
No, CINE.
CINEMIT, right?
Yep, that's it.
CINEMIT.com. Cinemint.com. Cool. So the main event, drum roll.
That's the horrible drum roll. I was never a drummer, so I apologize.
Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Oh, the very newly released Transformers movie, Michael Bay's newest Transformer installment.
Just came out this weekend. Available 2D, 3D, IMAX 3D, Real D, every D possible.
Yep.
Whatever best suits your interest. Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Here's a clip from it. Check it out.
You lied to us. You've made a grave mistake.
It's starting! It's time
time to make a stand! Fire! Today, we take the battle to them.
All right, man. So
Yeah.
where do we start with this? Let's give a little background on it. What's the story about, Ronald?
Absolutely. So, this is the plot summary as provided by IMDb. So, the Autobots learn of a Cybertronian spacecraft hidden on the moon and race against the Decepticons to reach it and to learn of its secrets.
So Cybertron being the planet that they're all from,
Yes.
the battle that had created the rift between Autobots and Decepticons that destroyed their planet. We hear about it in the first two installments of the series. A little more backstory in this film. Basically, where we pick up in this film is, I guess, 2 years after Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
The Autobots are kind of working in tandem with the military now, helping us protect the planet from Decepticons, but also kind of helping us protect us from ourselves as humans.
Yep.
You see some shots of like terrorist stuff and things them helping us out here and there. We pick up with Sam, Shia LaBeouf's character. He is now dating the new hotness Rosie Huntington Whiteley, taking the place of Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox.
Her name is Carly in the film. She's a Victoria's Secret model. She's eye candy.
Yeah.
You meet her very early in the film. But he's kind of trying to get his grounding in reality after being a hero in 2 films, not really having luck finding a job after going to college.
Yeah.
We just kind of get thrown into this backstory about the Dark of the Moon idea. And it actually is kind of neat how they work it into like U.S. and world history.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a part where they introduce kind of the moonwalk that takes place in the 60s.
Yep, 68.
68, yeah. And so they show everything that's happening surrounding it, the hype, the newsreels, JFK talking about it. All this stuff is building up. And then they show the actual moonwalk. Now, during the course of the filming of this on air, there actually is a portion where they completely cut off the cameras for this immediate stop. And then as this happens, they're given 20 minutes by the government to kind of roam the moon. So as they roam the moon, they go to the darker portion of the moon and they see that there is, in fact, a transformer on the moon. And it's like a ship, right? It's like a ship and a bunch of transformers, right? It's like
it was the whole idea is that like when there was the battle between the Autobots and Decepticons, one Autobot ship like escaped or was about to escape before it got shot down, and it crashed into the moon.
Right.
So the idea was the U.S. became aware of this and went to Kennedy, and that was actually the start of the space race, not what we've come to think of it as. So our motivation for going to the moon was to actually, explore this crashed, spacecraft or whatever it is.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
It makes more sense that they went up there for Transformers than why they did. in reality, just to explore the moon doesn't make any sense.
Who knows? Maybe there's really Transformers. I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, that's more motivation than me. I mean, their idea is like, oh, what is there on there? Like fuel cells and all this other kind of crazy shit. And that's the real motivation for going to the moon. But like you said, they get to the moon and they're exploring it and they find all this stuff. And I think they bring back pieces of the moon over the next few missions through the years.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us up to the present day. And you're wondering, what's that backstory about?
Yeah.
And you kind of get little pieces here and there about what the actual purpose of that ship that got away was. And the ship that got away was the ship that actually carried the answer that would have allowed the Autobots to win the war versus the Decepticons instead of actually how it turned out. And we kind of just pick up like right point blank from there in the U.S. and present day. And you kind of are told, you kind of get a sense that something's going wrong right from the get-go because you see, what is that little like pterodactyl looking one? Like the pterodactyl looking transformer?
There's a pterodactyl looking transformer that's going around. He clearly has an evil laugh.
He's called Laserbeak.
Laserbeak.
He's a Decepticon.
Laserbeak is assassinating government officials and people affiliated with the government left and right.
Basically picking off anybody that had any idea about that whole moon mission and what they were picking up from the moon and whatnot. And we actually kind of catch up to speed on what the idea behind it was is because the U.S. is led to this to the Chernobyl location, the nuclear location, and that's another piece of the backstory that's kind of made up in this movie, is that we find out that that they were actually using, the Ukrainian government was using a fuel cell that was retrieved from that spacecraft on the moon to try to, I guess, find new power options, new energy options.
Right.
And that was the actual cause of the Chernobyl incident, not what we've come to think in history.
Come to think. That's pretty cool.
So when Josh Duhamel, whatever his name is, Josh Jamal's character goes there, that's when you kind of pick up on, like, there's a Decepticon element to this, and they kind of slowly roll out what the Decepticons' motivations are in, getting the fuel cell or getting whatever pieces from the moon that the U.S. government brought back, or all of the space races brought back.
Right.
And, that kind of is where the Autobots kick in, and, the American government reaches out to them and says, hey, what is going on? Can you tell us about any of this? And that's how we get introduced to the Autobots again. And, you see all your favorite characters, Ironhide, Bumblebee, I don't know. Who else? I don't know.
Yeah, all the other ones.
Besides Optimus Prime.
And then these two little characters that are along with Shia LaBeouf, kind of living with Sam's character.
Yeah.
Which I'll talk about later, my opinion on those two guys.
They're like the little mini Autobots. Like in the second film, there were like the twins.
Yeah.
That were like kind of the little, I guess they're like the humor element of the Autobots. And
quick talking.
Yeah. A lot of attitude. One kind of sounded like Steve Buscemi. I don't know if it was actually him or not.
It's pretty interesting.
But yeah, that's kind of the idea of the story. Not to get too heavy into it. It's a Michael Bay film. It's Transformers versus Transformers is Autobots versus Decepticons. Saving the world, Sam Witwicky, the government, the beautiful girl, awesome special effects. That's the story. There's nothing other than that. That's all you need to know.
Well, I was going to say one thing that was really interesting. First and foremost, I have to note that I hate Transformers movies. So
I have to verify that. We've had many a conversation about how much you hate them.
So I came into this kind of biased. I was expecting to see garbage. But one thing that separated this movie from the last is the level of conspiracy. I'm kind of a fan of conspiracies and the government lying to us and stuff like that. So it appealed to some element that just hadn't touched on in the last movie.
Sure.
The last two.
Yeah.
And one thing that was very different about this movie is the whole connection between the Decepticons and the humans went really deep this time.
Yeah.
So instead of it just being like just a kind of cursory glance at what's going on between the Decepticons and the humans, there were like really, really people embedded in the government that were helping the Decepticons' cause, which created a bigger conspiracy at the end of the movie where what seemed like something normal, which was Sam's girlfriend's ties to this really rich guy who had this amazing job. So Sam's girlfriend had this amazing job where she was making lots and lots of money, driving a $200,000 car that he gave her, and he was involving her in everything. She was having a big role in this company. Turned out to be something super duper Decepticon related.
Yeah, that's where the curveball hits.
That's where the curveball hits.
Yeah, and that guy that you're talking about, her boss is played by Patrick Dempsey. His name's Dylan in the film. Good old Patrick Dempsey. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think it's really cool how embedded the actual story goes with the human race as opposed to just, Earth being the playground that the battle has extended to.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Autobots, protecting us. It almost shows the other side of the human element, which is the side that not so much wants to be protected, but wants to cover their ass. And that's where you kind of see where some of the human element gets embedded with the Decepticons, and you almost see humans versus humans. Just like you see Autobots versus Decepticons. It's kind of cool. I like that leveling that you're talking about, and it makes it a little deeper. Definitely cool.
It made it pretty cool, yeah. So it takes place there, and then from this situation, they discover that there is a gentleman, a robot. His name is...
Sentinel Prime.
Sentinel Prime is basically an elder amongst the robots, and he was in the war that they spoke of from before. Now,
he was a leader of the Autobots before Optimus Prime.
Yeah. So when they discover that this gentleman's body is there and in one piece, So they discover him, they recover him, and Optimus Prime brings him back to life.
With the Allspark.
With the Allspark. This little twirling thing that Optimus Prime can kind of wield to bring robots back to life. This dude comes back. He's in this kind of eternal sleep that he takes him out of. And this guy's ready to fight against the Decepticons.
Pretty much.
Or so we think.
Or so we think. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
That was us transforming. This podcast got transformed just now into a whole nother reality.
Yeah.
That sounds more like that sounded like Tim the Toolman Taylor. I apologize for that.
It did a little bit.
I'm not very good at it.
It did a little bit.
Yeah, so there's another level. You know, Sentinel Prime comes back. You know, Optimus brings him back with the Allspark, who, you know, as Optimus being the leader of the Autobots, he carries the Allspark. Sentinel was the leader prior to him actually being shot out of the sky, which is why Optimus took over.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Optimus with the, he's the optimist, even in a sense.
Yeah.
He brings him back. He brings him back to life, and, you know, they think that they're on the same team. Things change around a little bit, and you actually find out that Sentinel Prime had actually made a deal out with the Decepticons during the war back on their planet. So, you know, there's actually this really, you know, I kind of want to get into talking about our actual thoughts on some of the film. Not just...
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and when I think of that changeover scene where we actually see that Sentinel Prime is not who we think he is, that's one of the coolest scenes in the movie. There's about 2 or 3 scenes that stand out to me. And the scene where Sam realizes what's going on with the whole pieces that were brought back from the moon, and talks to the gentleman, like some of the astronauts that were not killed by the Decepticons, and realizes that the Decepticons are really after Sentinel Prime. He actually breaks him out of the military hold bay that he was at to transport him. And there's this whole like really intense transport sequence with some of the Autobots basically caravanning Sentinel over the highway, and then all of a sudden these 3 black SUVs come out of the blue, and they're obviously Decepticon units. And dude, that scene is fucking ridiculous.
It is fucking
you and I looked at each other and were like, is this happening right now?
Yeah. So it used a lot of what appeals to me: destruction, fast destruction, in slow motion, used to actually move the point of the fight forward. You don't know what's going on at first, the scale of it, until it slows down and you really see exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So when these Decepticons change to their robot form, they're doing a couple things. They're involving all the cars on the highway to fight the Autobots. Yep. So they're literally taking cars and smacking them at other. You know, it's crazy. Like, so they're crashing into shit. Shit is breaking. Shit's exploding, and then slow motion. And Sam's in the middle of it because he's with the caravan. It's just a bunch of ridiculous things going on at the same time. And to be completely honest, it was so shocking that everybody was kind of gasping as this was going on. Not just us.
Yeah, no, the theater was sold out. We were at a late show, and everybody, you could tell, was like holding their breath for that scene to end.
Yeah.
And it goes on for a while.
It goes on
which
for a
I
while.
think is awesome.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, when the Decepticons are changing over, like they're taking cars and not just knocking them out of the way, but like throwing cars ahead of them to try to hit the Autobots and like throw them off course. And when they do actually fully transform into the Decepticons, what I thought was it's almost like creepy. Like when you don't use the slow motion, they did not overuse the slow motion at that point.
They didn't at all.
So when they transform, there are scenes where you see the Decepticons in full robot form running down the freeway faster than any vehicle that's moving on the freeway.
Yeah.
And you can see them gaining on the Autobots' cars. And like one of them is actually standing up, and one of them almost looks like an animal, like they're like galloping like a lion or like a horse, or I don't know. And they're going fast. And then when there are those moments of impact, that's where the slow motion kicks in, and you can literally see every little piece of the action happening because of that slow motion.
Yeah.
And the scene where the entire time Sam is in Bumblebee like as a passenger, so like it's really kind of crucial that Bumblebee does not transform until absolutely necessary or the right time, because he has Sam inside of the car. So the other Autobots are transforming to actually help protect everybody else, help protect Sentinel Prime and Bumblebee. And then there's a moment where Bumblebee just like goes for it.
Oh yeah, he has to.
And he has to. And it is so goddamn epic. Sam flies out of the car. Yeah. Bumblebee is transforming around Sam, knocking the shit out of these Decepticons.
Yeah.
You know, grabs Sam. You know, he transforms back into the car. Sam's back into the seat. It all takes place over like 15 seconds, and Sam is like screaming because he doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
And it gives me cold chills right now just talking about it. I love that kind of experience as a film goer.
Oh, definitely. Because one thing that, all right, so this is a good thing in both, a good thing and a bad thing. So one thing that had to be portrayed correctly in order for this to be acceptable in the scene is you have to be able to see everything that's going on, and these things are huge.
Right.
These Transformers are huge.
Right.
So you're seeing the scale of the robots, the speed of the action, the destruction, and the intensity of the fight is being conveyed all in the scene simultaneously.
Sure.
One thing that I can say is a little hard at times is when the robots get really close and they're fighting, it's really hard to tell what's going on until the camera pans out
like a wide shot.
It almost reminds me of Batman Begins. I was actually talking to somebody about this very recently. The fight scenes in Batman Begins, the darker ones that involved closer combat, were supposed to be kind of like dizzying and crazy.
You almost are lost in it.
Yeah, you're lost in it, and you see, I guess that's how it's supposed to be when somebody tries to swoop down on you at night and they're fighting very closely. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like that. And there were parts in the movie that felt like that. Okay. That felt very like Batman Begins.
In a bad way?
In a bad way sometimes.
Okay.
But
like you just kind of don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't know what the hell's going on. You just hear loud clanging and you see things moving. You see faces.
Sure.
You see the Decepticons and Autobots' faces.
Yeah.
But it's a little harder to gauge what's going on.
Sure.
But that is not overshadowing the
accomplishment
scenes.
of that
the accomplishment of every scene that involved robot combat. It's nothing. I've never seen anything like it.
I can still think back to seeing the first Transformers and then the sequel, the Revenge of the Fallen. I actually liked the first Transformers quite a bit. I'm a huge fan of the cartoon series, everything prior, like being a kid of the 80s. I had all the toys, and I was obsessed with the movie, the Transformers movie that came out in the 90s. I just, I think that I still get excited every time I see those robots transform.
Oh, yeah,
I think whatever you have to say about whether you think the robots look good or they're too industrial looking or too much, I think that, like, respect and just, like, straight up kudos goes out to just watching them change from that little Chevy Camaro into Bumblebee. And like when you look at Bumblebee fully into Transformer mode, you can look at all the elements of the car and see it worked into how he physically looks.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind. It still does, it's not stale at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as I actually thought the second film was absolutely horrible. Again, the visuals were still really cool, but a horrible script. Nothing in terms of character, and not that you're really looking for that in a movie like this, but you want something to actually keep you interested beyond that visual element, because that only lasts for so long. But I think, I still give the props to, like, actually, I like the way that those Transformers, like, go from vehicle to soldier or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
I think I just get pumped up. I, like, sit up in the seat and, like...
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It's exciting.
One thing that differed from the last two in the transforming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a lot more transforming for a purpose. Like there were elements where they would have to jump off of a wall, transform, grab someone, and then turn back into something very quickly.
Oh yeah, man.
I was not ready for that. And I actually read and heard through an interview that Michael Bay purposefully didn't show portions of combat and portions of transformation so that you didn't know what it was going to look like on the scale that it was on, the combat that took place. None of that was kind of advertised initially, so that when you saw it, the shock and awe was going to be there like it was for us. I
Definitely.
was blown. Like, I hate Transformers. I fucking loved the way this stuff looked. I love the story. I hate to admit it. I actually kind of love the story.
You buy into it because, like, at the end of the day, when you think about the logic, as stupid as this, like, the second film was, and somebody might say as stupid as these films are together, the story is just, you buy it.
You do.
You buy it.
You do.
It doesn't go too deep where you're, like, getting lost. It just scratches enough of that surface where you can look into that crack, and you're like, okay, this makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It's enough to make sense.
It gave attention to the backstory, which was very cool. The war, they showed that stuff. Oh, what's one thing we did not mention? We watched this thing in IMAX 3D.
We should talk about that.
We should talk about how amazing this was. The depth of field, it was everything about this thing was amazing visually. So
yeah,
I felt layers.
Normally, like, okay, straight up, IMAX is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll see any movie in IMAX. Sound, video, presentation, the screen size, sign me up. Ticket price, I hate paying more, but whatever, it's worth it. 3D, for the most part, I'm not a fan of. I think it's kind of gimmicky. Mm-hmm. I don't think it works, especially when it's done in post-production, when it's just to add that level, when it's not actually adding anything to the film. You know, films like Avatar, where it's like actually shot as a part of the filming of the movie, little bit different story. I'm not the biggest fan of Avatar, but I can appreciate the leveling and the layers that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But like when we were looking at this film up, it was saying that this movie was made like 70-75% of it was actually shot in 3D.
Yeah.
And only some of the stuff that needed to be filmed with slower speed cameras were actually shot in 35mm or digital and then done in post-production. Mm-hmm. But it's seamless though. You really can't pick some of it out. But I will say, normally, the way I said, I don't really like 3D. I am not regretful at all about having to pay more to see 3D IMAX. This movie was fucking awesome in 3D.
It was. One thing that really came across, one thing I loved about it was that it didn't use 3D as a gimmick. It did it to kind of contribute to the story. So it didn't shoot out in your face for no reason. Like, there weren't portions where it was just like unnecessary.
Yeah, there's not like
Final Destination level 3D.
Yeah, they're not shooting bullets and like the bullets are coming at us. It's not stupid stuff like that. It's like actual depth to it, and it actually kind of makes your screen feel deep, and you actually almost feel you almost feel like a part of some of the scenes.
Listen up. You want to hit back? We're gonna have to wingsuit in. It's the only way to get close. I can't promise anyone a ride home, but if you're with me, the world needs you now.
Can find my own ride home, sir.
Who else?
Right here, sir.
Here we go! Here we go! Keep it tight!
Coming around.
All right, focus.
So that clip that we just played is also probably, I said 2 or 3 scenes that stand out. That's one of the 2 or 3.
Definitely.
This is a scene where some of the Army, I guess, I don't know if they're like Army Rangers or paratroopers, whatever they are, Josh Duhamel's character and his merry men figure out the only way to get into Chicago, which is the city being attacked by the Decepticons and kind of trying to quarantine it off, is to jump into the city through the air. And they kind of jump out like, you know, in those squirrel suits. You can see them in the trailer where they had the vents under their arms and their legs. And that scene itself is probably worth the 3D IMAX cost.
Oh, definitely.
Because when they jump out of the plane and you see some wide shots and like the Decepticons in the air with them trying to shoot them out and literally chase them through the city.
Yeah.
There are shots when it's like the first person's perspective. You literally almost feel like you're falling with them. Mm-hmm. Could you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. So the very interesting part about that scene is that it starts off, you just think they're swooping in. At first, it's just like, this is just going to be a scene where they swoop in.
Yeah.
They get to the ground.
They land, and then that's good.
No. When they first start, you know, they leave the craft that they're in, and then seconds later, the Decepticons come. So there's some tension building. So they're trying to go through this world where, like, it's basically like a wasteland. Things are being destroyed left and right.
The Decepticons have already like destroyed the majority of the city, and they're kind of like holding it on lockdown.
Yeah. So they're swooping down. It's like a very sharp vertical angle. So they're like, you know, kind of flying left and right. The Decepticons are trying to kill them. They're swooping between buildings.
It's almost like the little like human jets.
Yeah,
like they're
It's-
using these suits that they have to like turn sideways and like shoot through buildings and like go through broken windows and buildings that have fallen to kind of like trick the Decepticon flyers into like, you know, hitting into the walls and stuff like that.
So
but I mean, as you're falling with them and absolutely feel like you're one of the 5 or 10 jumpers that jumped out of that plane, it's awesome.
It is awesome.
My friend that saw it in New York before it came out told me about that scene and said the exact same thing that I said, and I can speak to it now. You do feel like you're kind of sort of in one of those simulator rides, like you're falling out of the sky.
There's a couple parts like that in the movie. One of the parts, strange enough, was the very beginning of the movie when they're showing them fighting the war. When they're kind of going through their world as the war's going on. There's a lot of parts in the movie where you feel like you're in the situation.
Yep.
And because of that, my heart was racing. Like, I was not expecting to be this into a movie series that I fucking hate. Speaking of fucking hate, I think we need to move into some of the parts that we didn't like.
Okay, yeah. I mean, let's make it known.
Okay.
There's some awesome shit about this movie.
Right.
Visually, the story is much better than the former films, but holding true to typical Transformer film fashion, there's some really, really shitty stuff in this movie.
Yes.
So take it.
Okay, shitty characters. Let's go down the list, and I'll start. Okay, so the guy, Lester Spate, is basically like Tyrese's friend, the big black dude.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. He wasn't so bad, but he was very annoying. Okay. Ken Jeong. Jesus Christ. Like, this dude
Can you play any other fucking character,
he plays
Ken?
the same dude, throwing out random slang, moving his head around like a stereotype of a black woman. It's very weird,
God,
man. It's
man.
very weird. He does this shit over and over and over and over again, and it gets tiring.
But there is a silver lining. He gets killed.
He does get killed
5 minutes in the
miserably. He gets destroyed.
So that's the pleasant of that story.
Yeah, and those 2 robots, the small little robots. All right, so I have a really big problem. I need to address this, man.
Go for it.
So I really hate characters that almost seem like they're like clearly black characters. You know what I mean? Like
Clearly black characters.
Clearly black characters.
Okay.
This dude had dreadlocks. Like, oh, hey, what's going on, baby? I'm gonna kick your ass.
Wait, were you in Transformers? Because that's exactly what they sounded like.
That dude.
I think we actually have a star from the film on this week's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know what that little shit's name was.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
I really hated those 2 characters, and I think that stuff's not necessary. It's like a card that they pull every time there's a movie like this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what'd you think about Tyrese in the movie?
Hate him.
You hate Tyrese?
You and I talked about it last night.
Yeah.
I don't like Tyrese in general. Nothing against the dude personally. I don't know. I don't have any of his CDs. I don't know. I know he's a musician or a rapper or hip hop, whatever, or whatever he does with his life.
He's actually a singer.
A singer. I'm sorry. Obviously, I don't know.
Yeah.
Any movie he's ever been in, I've wanted to just take his character out of the scene.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like that. It's funny that you bring him up because, like, a lot of the characters that are in the other films very heavily are only in this movie situationally. Yeah. Like, Tyrese doesn't come into the film until, like, the last 45, 50 minutes. Mm-hmm. But he's in it here and there as one of, like, the mercenaries that are going to help Sam save the city. And even Josh Duhamel's character, he's not even in that much. Like, they're anchors of the previous 2 films, and I feel like that's a part of the whole Transformers story problem is that it's so thin at parts that you're like, how do we even work these guys into the story?
Yeah.
And you can tell that they were like, all right, man, we got 45 minutes left. How are we going to get Tyrese up in this movie?
Yeah.
We need to get some Tyrese up in this movie.
And he has to say something crazy like, we got to watch our backs though. Dude, you know.
Yo, no one's coming out of there alive.
Ain't shit gonna go on unless I tell you to go. Like, just that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man.
It gets kind of annoying, but
I'd rather you just send Sam in there, just Lone Ranger, and let him try to do it.
Yeah.
Like, he just walk. I don't know, man.
I kind of enjoy the idea.
Tyrese.
I enjoy the idea that, I mean, here's the thing. Whether people realize it or not, Transformers are very patriotic movies.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
America,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
They
Just
should be playing that song.
every time,
Yeah.
because it's like at the heart of it, none of those people matter. The troops matter. That's it. They save the day every time almost.
Yeah.
So I'm not always comfortable with that, but I can accept it. You know what I mean? So I get why Tyrese was who he was. There's no way Sam could have done it by himself.
Yeah, true.
Himself,
I guess
so
you throw him in
no
the
way
mix
he can
because
do
he's
it
an
by himself.
established character. I just feel like that's a part of the film that's what lacks. Like, as amazing, you have these polar opposites. As amazing as the set pieces are and the special effects, and in this film, the 3D, the visual element is aces. It's amazing. But then you get to the story, you get to some of the character development. Obviously, you're not looking for, like I said, in a film like this, as heavily as in some other really good movies. But you expect something to actually keep you interested in anything besides waiting for the next awesome visual cue, you know?
Yeah,
and I feel like that's obviously what this movie lacks. I think Sam is actually a really cool character.
Yeah,
I think he's fun. He's funny. Shia LaBeouf, I feel like we've talked about him being like the kind of guy that could be like a Tom Cruise in the future.
Absolutely.
I even see him being like somebody, if he's not that way, maybe even like the Tom Hanks kind of guy. Like, he's funny. Guys seem to like him. Women seem to like him. Doesn't take himself too seriously. He could do action. He could do comedy. And he does a little bit of it all in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but a lot of the other characters, like John Malkovich is in it. I mean, completely should have been cut from the movie. No point whatsoever.
I kind of like John Malkovich, but...
You like John Malkovich, but do you like John Malkovich in this movie?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No.
And then you got John Turturro's character comes in, Simmons from the other films. He's kind of stupid fun, whatever. One guy that I usually like a lot in movies, and I guess, you know, he's kind of in this movie very, very minimally, and you kind of do like him a little bit, is Alan Tudyk.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he plays John Malkovich's little assistant, and he's in a lot of films, like random movies like Knight's Tale, Serenity. God, I don't even know what else he's in. He's in so many movies. Look him up on IMDb. I kind of like him as an actor. I feel like he does some kind of random shit sometimes, which I kind of admire.
Didn't he play the pirate in
Dodgeball? He was the pirate in Dodgeball. He was also the robot in iRobot. Will Smith, he was he voiced him, and that was the motion capture guy. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk.
Holy crap!
Cool dude. Like, I like him, but it's just like this movie's like they send out an all call. What mid-range actors can we get into these like shitty roles that just to see a face that people might recognize?
Yeah. Because
like we need some sort of layering in terms of actors, and then you have like actually good actors like fucking John Malkovich is in a stupid ass role. Like, why do you waste that?
Yeah.
Or what about Frances McDormand? Like, she's won an Oscar.
Yeah.
And she's like some stupid CIA, you know, type A personality woman who's just like throwing a weight around and who comes around at the end and, you know, man. I love you, Sam. Like,
they really do it, but I think Transformers movies have a really depth in women characters lacking, super lacking. Like the women are very like weird in Transformer movies to me.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they're objectified, I think, and I think Michael Bay is kind of known about that. Like,
yeah, it's so weird. Like, he doesn't have to make the girlfriend so whiny and bitchy and weird and possibly fucking the other dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the big thing that's going on. Like, she could be sleeping around. You don't know because this dude is giving her $200,000 cars and treating her. And then every picture at his office desk or whatever. Yeah. It's just stuff like that, weird stuff like that. And then the way they treat this lady, she's like a stuck up. Oh, she has no complexity basically.
Yeah.
Whereas Sam has complexity. Whereas, you know, some of the other
even some of the fucking Transformers have more complexity than the women characters. Let me talk about Bumblebee real quick.
Let's talk about Bumblebee.
Dude, can we hang out? Like, if you're listening to this podcast, I don't know if you're real or not, but I'd like to hang out with you. I feel like we'd be friends. No, but seriously, Bumblebee is awesome. I feel like he, even as a character, has more complexity than really anybody but Sam.
Yeah.
Like, you actually care about Bumblebee. There's a part in the movie, like, you think he might die.
Yeah.
And, like, I was really concerned.
I was like,
are they really going to kill Bumblebee?
Yeah.
And I looked to everyone in the theater, and, like, I could see people, like, you could see that they were concerned that he was going to die.
It was really well done.
Yeah. I mean, he is a cool character. I love how they throw in, like, all the audio clips from, like, movies and radios because how he can't speak and he, you know, pulls stuff from the radio or from the airwaves.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, you hear little things like random movie quotes and radio quotes and music quotes. And I love how they piece it together for him to say something to Sam or to whoever. I just think Bumblebee's done so well, and I think he is the heart of the film, I think, in my opinion. Like, him and Sam's relationship, but, I mean, he as a character is awesome. I think Bumblebee's is awesome, and I want a Bumblebee of my own.
Bumblebee's pretty amazing. They do something really subtle with Bumblebee that I noticed from the moment I saw him. Whenever the Decepticons or anybody speaks to Sam, they're standing up looking down at him. Every time Bumblebee spoke, he kneeled down. when he spoke
That's
to him.
true,
It's
man.
like these weird little things that Bumblebee would do because they're closer.
Yeah,
you
they
know what I
have
mean?
that relationship.
They have that relationship. So
It's like his protector.
yeah, exactly. So
Man,
really cool things
I love
like that.
Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Good guy, man. Well done, Bumblebee.
Yeah, well done.
So yeah, we're talking about a really fun movie to watch, I think. I know you fucking hate those movies.
I fucking hate them.
I actually like the first one, hate the second one. This one is definitely the best of the series.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we can both agree on that. If you want a fun popcorn summer film, go see it in 3D, invest the money. If you're going to go see it, you might as well pay a little more and see it and really experience it and not just watch it. Because there are truly parts of the movie with the 3D IMAX, you truly feel like you're experiencing some of the film.
Yeah.
It's not like it doesn't have its faults. There's definitely problems all over the place. It is one of those hoorah movies like America. Like you said, you definitely get every time Optimus speaks at the end of the movie, it's like a life lesson on why America's awesome or why humans are awesome. And it is what it is. Like there's nothing that anybody's saying to call it what it isn't. If you go in there thinking that it's going to be some amazing movie's going to change your life, you're going to be disappointed, and you probably are also an idiot if you think that.
Yeah. Don't look for depth in this movie.
Go in there looking to have a good time. For 2.5 hours, too long of a film.
Way too long.
Could have cut a good half an hour of it and still made it it would have made it a little more lean and mean, and I feel like you wouldn't have as much to complain about because you wouldn't see those stupid ass characters that didn't need to be in the movie at all.
Yeah.
So it has no business being 2.5 hours, but in all honesty, neither did any of the other Transformer films.
Yeah.
You could have cut it down. I don't know if they're going to make more of them. Michael Bay said this is the last one. Shia said this is the last one. Who knows? If it makes almost $1 billion worldwide like the other ones did, they're probably going to find a way to keep this franchise going, whether it's with different people or not. But take a hint. Don't make them so long. Make them stronger films on the whole. Any closing notes on this before we move on?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I would probably see this movie again in 3D in the movies. I would never purchase a Transformers movie.
Never personally own it, but I mean that's the thing. If you're gonna see it, 3D is the way to go.
3D
It
is the
is an
way to go.
experience,
Yeah.
and I will tell you, do not get up to leave your seat like you did. I tried to talk you into staying.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you didn't really miss anything. But that last 45, 60 minutes of the movie, do not leave the theater.
Don't.
You will be regretful if you do, because somebody that you're with is going to tell you what you missed, and you're going to feel like an idiot.
Yep.
Because it is worth the ticket price just for the last hour of the film.
Yeah, it's incredible.
The Chicago scene is, oh my god, it's incredible.
Yep.
Incredible. So that's our thoughts on Transformers. Darker Than the Moon, it's out in theaters now.
Never thought I would ever say
Never
it.
thought you'd hear yourself say that.
Shocking. I'm in shock.
So if it impressed him, maybe it'll impress you. Who knows? We're going to move on now and do our DVD quick picks. This week, we're going to be talking about 2 DVD films that somehow relates to our featured film, which is Transformers.
Sorta.
So I'm going to start off so you can think about yours a little more, because I'm interested to see how the hell you're going to relate it. But
Yeah, right.
I'm going to throw out one of my favorite action robot movies.
Cool.
Terminator 2.
Right.
Dude, Terminator 2. So good. So good.
Terminator 2.
I love Terminator 2. 20 years ago, the movie came out. You posted something on our Tumblr about it maybe a week or so ago, celebrating the 20th anniversary. I remember being a kid and being like, having saved up my allowance to go see the movie in theaters with my dad and paying for his ticket.
Yeah.
And it being an experience for us. But I remember it being one of the first movies that was like a guy film or like an action movie that even as a kid, I was emotionally attached to.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I feel like I did cry at the end of Terminator 2.
It was
The
crazy.
music is epic. You talk about films that are better than their predecessor, like when's the sequel ever better? I don't think many people will argue with you if you say Terminator 2 is better than Terminator 1. I think it raised the bar in cinematic, just having balls with action sequences. Yeah. The special effects at that point, just changed the industry, I think, with Robert Patrick's Terminator, like the whole liquid thing, like just incredible, scary action, emotional. On DVD, they have I think they've released the 20th anniversary box one that's probably, got all these new special features. But, if you like action films, most people listening to this probably have seen it. If you haven't, definitely go see it. And even if you have, check it out again, rewatch it, because there's so much to take from this movie.
Yeah. As an adult, you'll see more to it. Like it still holds up, and it's so great. Like I remember thinking that I had never heard a movie dialogue-wise that move like it did.
Yeah.
calling people dipshit, and it was like this weird like camaraderie that was formed between the Terminator and John Connor. Like it was gold. Like seeing them together.
So do you really like it? Love it?
Oh, let's get this. I happen to think that Terminator 2 is the best action film ever created. Ever. I know that sounds crazy.
No, I might not disagree with you.
I've never seen anything like it. I like to this day, Terminator 2 is the best action movie I've ever seen.
Awesome.
It has so much to it that I love. So
sweet, man. Well, yeah, Terminator 2. It's on DVD. 2. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix. You should probably look that up yourself.
Hopefully it is.
It might be. If not, you could probably find it online somewhere. Check it out. Rana, what do you got?
Cool. So this is completely unrelated, but it has some robot elements. One of my favorite weird movies. It's a Japanese movie called Cutie Honey. It's based on...
Wait, Cutie Honey. Cutie Honey. Because I had to have you spell it out for me when I looked it up, and I was like,
Cutie
what
Honey.
the hell?
So it's based on a manga and anime about a girl who basically eats rice cakes to get powerful, and she's scantily clad, and she fights Panther Claw in this story. It's ridiculous. It's almost like it has the tone of like Power Rangers, except people die in it. You know what I mean? It's like sparks coming out of people's chests and ridiculous characters.
It's all live action now?
All live action.
Okay.
There's some robot elements in it. And probably one of the coolest random Japanese movies I've seen.
Is it on DVD here?
It's on DVD in the States. In fact, if you go to Best Buy, you'll probably see it in one of those classic tin lunchboxes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's in there. It's only $20, and it comes with a copy of a couple episodes of Cutie Honey, the anime, the actual extended DVD, and the lunchbox.
Who doesn't want a lunchbox?
Cutie Honey.
Even if you don't like the movie, you got a lunchbox out of it.
Gotta love it.
But yeah, okay, so Terminator 2, Cutie Honey, both available on DVD. Maybe that's a nice double feature, maybe. Who knows?
Absolutely.
You know, it could be a double date night. I don't know.
Definitely.
Take it as you will.
Definitely.
That's going to wrap it up for this week's podcast. I want to just say again, thank you guys so much for, those of you who have supported us and have been writing in and listening to the podcast, reblogging our posts on Tumblr. Our goal is to get as far with this as we can. Like I always say, we are not putting money into this. This is just a passion of ours. So hopefully if you find an interest in what we're doing, you will help us tell other people about it.
Please do. Spread the word.
The word of mouth is going to be what makes us or breaks us with this kind of thing. So, we have the Tumblr, we have the Facebook page, facebook.com/movieschmovie, movieschmovie.net, movieschmovie@gmail.com, twitter.com/movieschmovie. I mean, we are there in every place that most people are using these days, so there is a way to find us. So If you like us, tell your friends to just look for us on XYZ page.
Yes.
Facebook. Hey, go on Facebook and search for Movie Schmovie. There's these two awesome guys doing this podcast. They're just like you and me. They're recording it in one of their basements while drinking a big gulp. It's like, come on. We're like you. We're just an every person, and we like talking about movies. So,
absolutely. And
the big thing is talk back to us. Send us an email. Write on the podcast. Write on the iTunes page. If you listen to the iTunes podcast or subscribe, please rate it, because it will actually make us list higher when people search for movie podcasts, which will obviously turn us on to more people. What else can they do, Ronald?
They can do whatever. Email us, movieschmovie@gmail.com. Give their feedback. Twitter, twitter.com/movieschmovie. Mixcloud.com. You can look up Movie Schmovie. We have so many avenues to reach us that if you don't, you're a fucking fool.
And I pity the fool.
I pity the fool.
No, I don't pity you. I just hate you. If you don't do it, I hate you.
So yeah, please communicate with us. Tell more people about it. And the word is spreading. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we've noticed more people coming to the Facebook page, more people subscribing to our Tumblr page, and reblogging, reposting things that we're throwing up there. And we've been getting some email messages, but we want to see a little more feedback.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys can send us some stuff, it'd be really appreciated. It's got to start somewhere, and hopefully it's with you.
Yeah.
So, once again, I'm Steve.
And I'm Ron.
And you've made our day. Thanks a lot for listening, guys.
All right. Peace.